Hey friend, Brandon here. When we look at the landscape of smartphones right now, we see a bit of a trend. The OnePlus 7 Pro and OnePlus 7T, ultra-wide angle. The Samsung Galaxy S10 and S10 Plus, ultra-wide angle. The Note 10 and Note 10 Plus, ultra-wide angle. The Sony Xperia 5 and Xperia 1, ultra-wide angle. The Apple iPhone 11 Pro, ultra-wide angle. And then, the Google Pixel 4 and 4 XL, no ultra-wide angle. Awkward. In a smartphone climate that has ultra-wide angle cameras everywhere, Google seems to have opted out of having one in their latest smartphone, instead opting for a normal angle lens and a telephoto lens. For someone like me, I personally prefer an ultra-wide angle lens over a telephoto lens, which I'll explain later in the video. And I also prefer the images that the Google Pixel produces over all these other phones, even if you were to sideload the Google Gcam app. So I had to find a fix for that, and a fix for that I did find. Just kidding, this is actually not what I'm going to use. I'm not using this particular lens. I'm using this one instead. Still a bit of a chunky boy. I also have this rig and this one, and obviously they have different pros and cons and use cases, which I'll go over. So how about we go on a bit of an adventure to another land outside of the studio and check it out. We're going on an adventure. I'm preparing the adventure. Oh wow, where are we going? To Paris? To New York? To Japan? All the way back to Los Angeles in a matter of seconds? How is that possible? Storyblocks. The answer is Storyblocks. And they're sponsoring this portion of the video, but not this part of the video. Just this part. Storyblocks has a massive library of over 1 million assets and growing of high quality footage like this. They also have After Effects templates, music to rock out to you, illustrations, and sound effects. On top of that, you can download as many assets as you want because they have an unlimited all access plan and can use them royalty free for whatever you want. Storyblocks also saves you a ton of money because you normally have to pay per item on other services, so you could save a ton of money and go fly in a rocket instead. I actually don't know if you can save enough money to fly on a rocket. Maybe not. I mean, maybe you're spending a crazy amount on something else that's not Storyblocks. Go check out Storyblocks by going to storyblocks.com/thististechtoday or click the link in the description. Thanks to Storyblocks for sponsoring this portion of the video so I can make content for you for free. Now for our first epic location. Okay, so welcome to my bathroom. Just kidding, we need to go back to the studio first before we come back here, so BRB. So I have two different rigs that I'm using beyond the stock cameras. There's a classic and compact moment case, which has these add-on lenses that you just screw on. It's super easy, and the cases have a really good feel to it. I like the black canvas one the most. I have the wide angle lens here and an old superfish lens. They have a new one out for modern smartphones that doesn't have this vignetting or darkness along the edges, and it's a bit sharper to the edges as well. I've used moment lenses in cases for years and use them for every phone I use as my main device. I made a few videos on their different lenses, which you can check out in the card up here, at the card at the end, or in the description. Then I have the B script, which is honestly what you'd use if you're trying to make some serious videos. It has a whole cage that you can mount stuff onto, and it also has this depth of field adapter that allows me to put Canon EF lenses on, like actual lenses for your camera, your DSLR. I have this super wide angle lens that I got for really cheap to show you how you can make your image really wide by adding a typical camera lens, but your image quality is largely determined by how good of a lens you're using, like this one that I'm using for my normal videos. This one though, that I'm using for this video for the wide angle lens is not as high quality, so just keep that in mind. Now the obvious pros for the moment rig is how small, easy, and inexpensive it is comparatively. You just have a case that you use every day, and you just get some add-on lenses that you have, and it just screws on and it works great. The downside is you have a limited amount of lenses that you can use. It's either the ones that Moment makes or others that make lenses using the same mounting system. Their lenses are really great in quality and are quite durable, but at a little under $100 each, it can be expensive for some. Keep in mind, it makes a lot of sense to spend a good amount on really high quality glass, and these things are super durable and clean. Now for the B script, it's great because you can customize it to your heart's content. They have their own lenses that you can screw on as well, but the biggest game changer is the depth of field adapters that allow you to put on a variety of high-end lenses. Some of those lenses you could actually use to make a movie on. The flexibility is amazing, but the size and the constant tweaking of the different knobs to make it all line up is a bit of a burden. If you're looking to just take photos or video without having to mess around with things, the B script really isn't a great option, and it's quite a bit more expensive. If you're making a serious video with
your phone, this is a really smart choice. Of course, I have affiliate links down in the description if you want to check them out. So it may be odd for me to say this, especially on a video about how I'm fixing the Google Pixel 4's lack of ultra-wide lens, but I'm somewhat okay with not having an ultra-wide camera on my phone. You see, all these added lenses built into phones are not the same level of quality as the main lens. This makes the ultra-wide angle shots a bit lower res, or soft, and oftentimes with less dynamic range than the main lens. Adding an external lens allows you to use that main lens that is of a higher quality, while adding higher quality lenses on top of it. Remember, the weakest part of the chain will affect everything else, and a subpar sensor or lens that's built into your phone, that might be the weakest point. Now, given a choice between an additional lens, I'd prefer an ultra-wide angle over a telephoto lens. While there are definitely some clear benefits to having a telephoto lens, especially if you enjoy taking pictures of architecture or are trying to get a certain portrait shot look. Otherwise, most of the time, you can just walk closer to the subject. You can usually do that, but with small spaces like an elevator or my bathroom, which is pretty small, you can only back up so much. Anyone who has ever tried to take a real estate photo or grab a shot of you and all your friends in an elevator or at a table at a small restaurant will know why a wide angle is a game changer. I found that I have personally tended to need an ultra wide angle lens more than a telephoto lens. But of course, I'd rather have both for the convenience, even if the quality of these added lenses aren't as good. But if you want the added focal lengths at the highest quality, well, then we need to go to a new location to check it out. All right, so we're outside right now in this really nice garden area, and what we're going to do is check out the Moment lenses on all the different phones first, and then the B-Script. Okay, so first we're going to look at the Pixel 4 XL with the Moment case and lenses. We'll take a photo first without any lenses on there, as well as video, and then we'll add on the lenses. So we'll take a photo with the Pixel 4 XL. We'll go for video. So we're still on the normal lens, and we're going to add on the 18mm. This is the wide angle lens. Much bigger difference here. And then we'll take a video with that. So if you didn't notice, when you go into video, it'll crop in a bit more than on the photos. And let's try with the Superfish, and this could be really helpful on video. So it's almost as if you don't have that crop there because of the Superfish. Here is the Moment, the wide angle on the Pixel 4 XL. Now let's unscrew this and put on the Superfish just to see what it looks like. That is a huge difference. You can see a little bit of curvature there, but it's not bad. All right, let's swap it out for the Note 10. So what's interesting about the Note 10 Plus is it does have a wide angle, so we'll look at that as well and kind of compare it with the lenses. This is a stock camera app. So let's take a photo on normal. We'll go to ultra wide. We'll go to video now. This is the normal angle one. And then since we do have a wide angle setting, we'll just pop out. And that's what that looks like. So on the Note 10, the normal angle lens is the center one. So we'll put the Moment wide angle on. And since we're trying to figure out how this affects the main lens, we're not gonna switch between the normal and the wide angle lens once we start adding on these additional lenses. So here's a photo with the wide angle. We'll go to video. Here's a little video test with the Moment wide angle lens on video on the Note 10. And then since we're recording a video, we're just gonna unscrew this and put the ultra wide on, or the Superfish rather, and see what that looks like. That's pretty dang wide. Now if I were to take it off, remember where we're kind of seeing, we can see up to like here on the frame, a little bit of the tree, maybe over this little branch here. Keep that in mind. Now I'm gonna take it off the Superfish and go wide. Interestingly enough, the Superfish is even wider than the ultra wide on the Note 10. And then this is what it looks like on photo. Very stylized. All right, let's do the same thing with the iPhone 11 Pro. So we're in the stock camera app as well. Let's go to the super wide. Oh wow, that is really wide. Now the main lens is the top one. So we'll screw on the wide angle, the Moment lens. Here's the video with the Moment wide angle lens on the iPhone 11 Pro. And we'll unscrew this wide angle and we'll put on the Superfish. So this is what the Superfish looks like. Let's see over here, we can see almost to the edge of this little planter over here. So let's take this off and go ultra wide. Once again, the superfish on the Moment lens is much wider than the ultra wide on the actual phone. I guess now we gotta set up the B-script. The compelling reason that you'd want to use something like a B-script with this crazy rig right here is really for video, because it already crops in a little bit. You'll still get a bit of vignetting and some issues on video with your Pixel 4 XL, but let's find out how the rest do. So the reason why you want to use the Filmic Pro app on this is because the image ends up mirroring. And the cool thing about this B-script rig is that you can kind of move it around so it centers right on the lens. So you kind of have to use these rails here to move it around. So it's right over the center of this. So as you can see, there are some crop lines here. If you were to loosen up this little latch here, this is how you can kind of make sure that it's oriented properly. See how I can rotate it. You can see where it cuts off there. So you have to rotate it so it's just right. So it doesn't go all the way to the edges. And then I manually focus this lens here, and this is what it looks like. So this particular lens, because it's so wide, it does have a little bit of chromatic aberration over here. So it's super wide without having a lot of that kind of curvature that you get with the Superfish. Now let's try it with the Note 10. This is what the Note 10 looks like on the B-script. We're losing a bit of light. So we'll move on to the iPhone 11 Pro. So the iPhone 11 Pro is really nice with this because the cutout for the B-script is perfect. It makes it really easy to line up. So this is what the video looks like on the iPhone 11 Pro with the B-script adapter. It looks pretty good, I think. What do you think? Go ahead and leave some comments down below. So it's starting to rain, so that's not good. I'm gonna pack up. I'm gonna pack up real quick. All right, so the rain is kind of subsiding a little bit, and we're gonna film some video with the Pixel 4 XL and this B-script rig. Now, one thing that you may notice about this is that I can like run around a bit, and wide angle lenses don't look as wobbly because of that. Manually focusing is so hard. Now keep in mind that the lens I'm using for a wide angle lens on the B-script isn't the highest quality option out there, but it shows you that you could use something like this if you wanted to. All right, I think we got a lot of really great video. What do you think about the footage there? Do you think this is a little bit overkill? Probably, but it's still really cool. So what are your thoughts on the shots and the Moment and B-script rigs? Would you ever want to use them? Which one would you use and why? And also, do you prefer a wide angle lens or a telephoto lens if you have to choose between the two? Let me know in the comments and join the This Is Tech Today community Discord chat server. We'd love to have you. Thank you for watching This Is Tech Today, where we talk about the intersection of technology in our everyday lives, in business, and in all things creative. Until next time.